Hi, my name is Noresker and I'm gonna present my third evidence of the assignment contemporary world. The London Protocol is a revised and updated version of previous document known as the Protocol of Investigation and Analysis of Clinical Incidents. It's practically a guide for risk and managers and professionals interested in the subject. The Velvet Revolution was a peaceful movement by which the Communist Party of Czechoslovakia lost of the monopoly of political power which it had held for 35 years in 1988 during the revolutions of that same year. As a consequence, a parliament regime developed in the context of a rule, law, and economic system that had already begun its transition to capitalism. Another important thing it was like the attempt or the creation of a bipolar war in Germany after Germany surrendered to the Allies. A group of Western countries, including the United Kingdom, the United States, France, and the Soviet Union. Globalization is the word used to describe the growing independence of the world's economies, cultures, and populations brought about by cross-border trade in goods and services, technology, and flows of invest, people, and information. The exact terrorism definition is defined by the Oxford Dictionary as the law use of the violence and intimidation, especially against civilians in the pursuit of political aims. But it's also the broader sense, the intentional violence for political or religious in the years leading to up to what became as the reign of terror. A unipolar world is the unipolarity in the international politics is a distribution of power which one state exercises more of the cultural, economic, and military influence. Unipolar system possess one of the great power and face no competition. If a competitor emerges, the international system is no longer unipolar. The digital era is the most common definition of the digital influencing and digital literacy. It's basically how everything is becoming like the base is the base of everything is technology. Like why the globalism emerged. The emergence of globalization it was introduced by the promote inherent wealth among all countries in the world. The United States has notably been identified as a leader in globalization after the World War II in the 19th century. Most countries started investing in new forms of transport and communication services. What causes the terrorism? So, just to start, the cause of terrorism has been like it begins like in very poor places, like because they started like growing a hate against the government, and terrorism is an issue that affects the world, and incidents have drawn much more attention since the 911 incident. And after this, the Organization of the World pinpoint the cause of terrorism and is trying to reduce the number of incidents. But it's just the consequences of it are just hate to the government. How is related the end of the Cold War with the unipolar war? Essentially, because after the dissolution of the former of the Soviet Union, the United States was the biggest economic power in the world, with the strongest military in the world, and nobody else could complete and like those standards. And this is why I think the United States is important. If they could work only together to be check on the U.S. power, not in hostile sense, but just not letting the United States run armor all over the world doing whatever it thinks to do. So the end of this is like the kind of time of peace, like a moment of relief that the world have in that moment, like the time they have to think, and also it have like the United States have like the idea of, yeah, I'm the most powerful country in the world. So how the digital era has affected the human being. So at the start of the digital era, the human being had to face with technology. After that, the human just like think about, I don't need humans to do this. I can do it with technology. And if you look around you today, in these days, like in quarantine, everyone is just take to an iPad, to a cell phone, to a computer. So it's kind of good, but it's bad sometimes. Like when you use it like way too much. Like the digital era, it's helping us today, like to keep classes